from coaches who might not know better. So it's important. My family always felt like it was important. We always kept a pitch count. We never made it obvious. And Walker probably wouldn't have preferred it, but it was just important to us, and we always kept an eye on it.
Well, Karen, you've been practicing law for many years. Have you thought about transitioning your practice into becoming a sports agent?
No, I haven't. Although it's been funny, there have been some propositioning. Apparently, there's some interest in females in that area and the mom's experience, because these folks, these families go through these situations, and it's exciting and it's wonderful, but it's also very emotional and very stressful. And I think sometimes in that situation, they would love to hear from somebody who's been through that and in a parental role. So I have kind of done it, just with my friends. A lot of younger Vandy families that have come behind us have reached out to me, and others. There's Tyler Beatty's family and Jared Miller's family and Carson Fulmer's family and Dansby Swanson, all of us parents. We do consider ourselves kind of a Vandy family, and we're always open to the younger parents and hope that they do call us, and ask all the questions, because you don't always get those answered in any agency, no matter how good the agency is. There's just those questions that you can only be answered by another baseball mom, frankly. But no, I'm a personal injury lawyer. That's what I've been doing for 22 years, and I don't see that changing. But
it's good to have a niche.
Learned a lot.
It's good to have a niche.
Yes,
right?
It is good to have a niche.
Well, I know Walker hasn't faced a ton of batters yet in the big leagues. Is there anybody on his list that he's like really excited about facing?
Nobody specifically that I have heard, but I will tell you, as I mentioned earlier, anytime it's somebody that he knows, he is fired up to pitch against them. Now, the cool thing about coming out of the SEC is that's not just the Vandy guys.
Now, Karen, I'm going to put you on the spot. Now, you got to name some names.
Uh-oh.
Who's on his target list? Come on.
Well, I know he'll love pitching against Dansby. I mean, that'll be huge. He will love pitching against Dansby, and that if I were to guess, because they're kind of right there, kind of at the same time, I would say that would be target number one. So that would be my hunch, but he has not verbalized that to me. But yeah, anytime he's throwing against a guy that he's seen in the Cape or at any of the SEC games or the College World Series, that's huge. Anybody from Virginia, I don't know what Virginia guys are playing in the pros right now. You'd have to help me with that, but they want to go after the guys that they know and they like, which is kind of funny. And that kind of leads me to one of his good buddies right now is kind of is pitched for Virginia in the World Series. We beat Virginia the first year, and then they beat us in 15, and he went against Josh Spores in both of those, and then they were both drafted by the Dodgers, and they end up being great friends and roommates, and have cheered each other on, egged each other on since the beginning. They're both pitchers, so they won't throw it against each other, but it's baseball's interesting. It's just it's that whole mix of competition and friendship. Like I think Carson and Walker, they were constantly competing at Vandy, but they made each other better. And they were, Walker was just in Carson's wedding. So, but they were always trying to beat each other out. Who's the Friday guy? Who's the Saturday guy? And I don't know. I think that's kind of unique.
You don't see that in the other sports. I think because as a baseball family, as a baseball unit, you spend so much time together. Yep. Like I said, the long weekends, in college, the 3-4 day series, major league, you're together all the time, and all the downtime you have at the ballpark.
True. And you really do, as corny as it sounds, but you really do bond and And baseball's a brutal sport. I mean, you can throw a no-hitter one day and just get hosed the next day. And I'm knocking on wood because Walker pitches tomorrow night against the Reds, so I hope I'm not jinxing him. But it is a brutal sport, and if you don't have people around you that are supporting you and can relate to the good and the bad and the ugly, it's kind of a isolating experience. But we've been very blessed by all of our different baseball experiences, whether it was travel ball or youth ball or college ball or pro ball, and that's kind of what makes the difference, because it impacts the entire family. It's Walker on the mound, but you got 14, 15 people in the stands that are there, day in and day out supporting him, and so it definitely takes a village.
Well, Karen, growing up in Central Kentucky, I was a Cincinnati Reds fan. I don't know if you follow baseball as a youngster.
Sure.
But tomorrow night, that
was the only team we had.
Yeah, I'll be pulling for Walker Buehler and the L.A. Dodgers for sure.
Thank you.
Well, hey, I've got one more thing here. Walker had another fantastic outing down in Mexico recently. They got him on like we were talking earlier, a tighter pitch count coming off the Tommy John. I think they're keeping him about 90 pitches. Does that sound about right? Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
So I'm going to play a little bit of him in Mexico City. Another great outing, by the way. So here we go.
Against Walker Buehler, who's making his third major league start. And snaps off a breaking pitch to get Perella for the first out of the night. It's a soft bouncing ball to second. That's Roston Barnes is playing tonight. 2 up.
Were you able to tune into this one while it was being played live?
All blown by him. And Walker
yes,
Buehler
we had a watch party.
A watch party in Lexington, Kentucky. Yes. One of the biggest sports towns for a small, a mid-sized town, a big sports town.
Absolutely. We hang out the Dodgers flag, and people know they can come in the front door and watch.
Well, Karen, again, it's been so awesome having you on Behind the Dish. Appreciate your time, and the best success for Walker Buehler and the L.A. Dodgers in this 2018 season.
Thank you so much. I've enjoyed it, and thanks for supporting Walker. We appreciate it.
Hey everybody, my name is Kyle and I'm the producer for Behind the Dish with John Piper. We want to get everybody involved here on the show, so make sure you tell your friends and your team about us and subscribe. We put a lot of effort in here to bring you the topics and guests that we think are relevant to the sport of baseball and to your everyday life. We want to partner with you to spread the love of baseball and the life lessons that go with it to you and your friends. So thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.